And the Parliament may consider the Lokpal Bill this winter session. Rajya Sabha Select Committee has adopted a draft report on the Lokpal Bill. It suggests bringing the Prime Minister under the ambit of the Lokpal, and it suggests that Lok Ayuks be set up in states within a year. The report will be tabled within the first week of the winter session of Parliament, and based on that report, the government could bring that Lokpal Bill in this session.
The principal reason why it has happened that within the Select Committee there has been a great amount of success in creating what could be the most acceptable solutions to the issues which were creating a divide. For example, the Prime Minister's inclusion in the Lokpal Bill, if the government had apprehension that the Prime Minister might become a subject of constant complaints and litigations, that has been taken care of also by the fact that Prime Minister's decisions on sensitive issues like national security, national interest, atomic energy, intelligence and other have been put beyond the purview of the Lokpal. Perhaps that will be almost like the RTI Act, that RTI Act exempts all these issues. The other was dividing line was over the issue of federal structure and the federal powers of a state. While the earlier bill talked about creating provisions in the Lokpal Bill for the creation of a Lok Ayukt in states, this Select Committee has recommended that eventually there will be just a direction from the Lokpal Bill that once legislated, all state governments will have to create a Lok Ayukt within 1 year time. That means largely the Lok Ayukt component of this bill, earlier it was Lokpal and Lok Ayukt, that Lok Ayukt constituent is virtually over.
Very surprising recommendation of the Select Panel, considering the fact that all political parties were more or less opposed to the idea of the Prime Minister being brought under the purview of the Lokpal, barring of course the left parties. Having said that, this Select Panel of course has members from all different parties, members of Rajya Sabha, including the leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha, Mr. Arun Jaitley, is headed by Satyavrat Chaturvedi. And what sources are telling us is that the draft, the recommendations or the report of the Select Committee on the Lokpal Bill is ready. It has been handed over to the government. Is likely to be tabled in Parliament in this session itself. And like I said, a very surprising recommendation where it has been suggested that the Prime Minister be brought under the purview of the Lokpal. Right. It was a very controversial talking point when the Lokpal Bill was being debated, and now it seems that the ball really is in the court of the Parliament, whether that is adopted first of all by the government and how the Parliament reacts to it politically. We will have to see whether that would be incorporated in the Lokpal Bill. The DOPT, of course, Mr. Narayanasamy is the concerned minister who had framed that bill, and we'll have to see whether he accepts that recommendation of the Select Panel.
That's what we argued in the House. That's exactly what we said, that let us define those safeguards. Matters concerning national security, matters concerning foreign relations. I mean, what are these issues? Any executive decision that the Prime Minister's office takes that involves acts of omission or commission must come under the Lokpal. No, that is what was the thrust of at least my argument and the amendment that we moved. I'm glad the Select Committee has finally said this. And so with the CBI, all the cases of graft that are going to be dealt with by the Lokpal, the CBI will function under its supervision.